I've watched the best shounen anime from this decade and I'm ranking the top 19. Let's start with Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is similar to Mona Lisa. When you visit it, you'll see how many people are around it, while hundreds of other paintings are being ignored. That's the same with Jujutsu Kaisen. People say it's awesome, but when they look around, they realize how many other awesome anime are out there. With Jujutsu Kaisen, people don't really start a conversation because it's so overrated. But if I say I enjoy Death Parade, someone will ask what it is, and someone else will agree that it's awesome, and now we are having a conversation. If you don't know what Death Parade is, then I proved my point that you are interested in starting a conversation about this anime, while if I said I like Jujutsu Kaisen, you would just ignore me. That's why I'm putting Jujutsu Kaisen in the A tier. It's still awesome, but the overhype makes it feel less special. Next, we have Black Clover. And I have this haven't watched tier where I will put Black Clover. Black Clover is one of the anime I haven't seen, so I cannot compare it to other anime that I have on this list. But the way I will rank anime that I haven't watched is that on the left side will be the anime I am most excited to watch, while on the right side will be anime that I'm least excited. So soon there will be an anime and more of them, so based on that I will rank them. Well, next we have 7 Deadly Sins. And 7 Deadly Sins is similar to a river, or a waterfall you could say, where the first season is kind of okay, I enjoyed it, but by each season it gets worse and worse. And the newest season that's out there doesn't even have the main characters. Like, you have those characters there, but they are more like, oh, by the way, they are still here. And they introduce completely new characters and it's not even that interesting. Some people say it was from the very beginning terrible. I think the beginning was at least interesting, it was something unique, but by each season it became worse and worse. But I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever, but I will put it into the C tier. It isn't the best. Well, next we have Assassination Classroom, and Assassination Classroom is also in the haven't watched tier. Black Clover, from what I know, is more like action based and you have a lot of cool fights, and I know that people recently say that the anime is getting better and better, like the action scenes, and it's a lot more interesting. And Assassination Classroom, based on what I know, is you have kids and their teacher is kind of like an alien, and he said that if you don't kill me, I will kill the whole world. Or maybe some, like, the plot is that this classroom wants to kill him, assassinate him. That's why it's called Assassination Classroom. And it just, I don't know, I don't find it that interesting and exciting. I would prefer to watch Black Clover. But I haven't watched them, so it would be unfair to put them on the tier list. Next we have My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is really interesting. I like the story of some characters, but at the same time, when you see an episode that's dedicated to a character you don't care about, you feel like it's not that interesting. It just feels like unnecessary. Some characters I am interested in, for example, Tomura, I'm like most interested in his character development, but some of them I'm not interested. For example, the guy who looks like a crow, I am not interested at all. So when he had his episode or any other character, I just felt like it was so unnecessary and boring, and I just skipped ahead like through the episode to get to the point because I didn't find it interesting. So My Hero Academia is not S tier, but also it's not like terrible. It is definitely better than 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know if it is, like, I'm thinking between A tier and B tier, but I would say that probably I will put it, yeah, I will put it into the A tier. Next we have Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is an anime that goes to the, no, not S tier. It goes to the haven't watched. I haven't watched it yet. But based on what I know, it's after the humanity kind of not really dies out, but some problem happens. A lot of people die or are turned into a stone. That's why it's called Dr. Stone. And it's more on an adventure based and more, I don't really have much information about it, but based on what I know, I would be more interested in Dr. Stone than Assassination Classroom. Next we have Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer is an anime that no one can argue with. It has the most impressive animation of all the anime here. But I will be a bit subjective here because it's the first anime I've ever watched in my entire life. And I enjoyed it a lot. Mainly because this will be something no one knows, but there is a card game called Hearthstone. And in the card game, very simply, there is a class called Warlock class, and I started playing Hearthstone by playing demons, big demon warlock. Very simply, I just love playing demons. So when someone told me, oh, you can watch Demon Slayer, I was like, well, there is the word demon, maybe it will be about demons. But imagine, I will put it into the S tier because it's my first anime, and you will always remember your first anime, and I really enjoyed it. But imagine if Demon Slayer was from a demon's perspective, let's say Muzan or Doma or any other upper rank. Imagine that if it would be from their point of view. That would be so incredible. I would put it even higher than this, maybe like a god tier if the main character was a demon. That would be so interesting, and I would enjoy it so much. Well, let's move to Blue Lock. And Blue Lock has really hard way to rank it because Blue Lock, the problem is that either you like sports, like you like football, and if you like it, you will enjoy it a lot. So it can be, even for you, it can be S tier. If you don't like strongly sport anime, it will be in D tier. And I'm a person who doesn't like sport. I don't watch sport. I'm not interested. But I will not put it into the D tier, and I will put it above 7 Deadly Sins, even though I've enjoyed the 7 Deadly Sins more than Blue Lock. And it's probably because I found it more interesting, as much as I dislike sport and watching sport stuff. Next we have Fire Force. And Fire Force, I was wondering what it is about when I started watching it. It is really interesting. You have firefighters that are, if you haven't watched it, you have firefighters that are fighting flames, like people who self-combust, or like they become like the fire and they are not humans anymore. And these like Fire Force, they actually kill those like combusted, or I don't know what was the word they used in the anime, like people who turn into flames, and they fight them. So this is really interesting. I don't think it's the worst or the best, but I think it's a solid B tier. Next we have One Piece, and a lot of people will argue with this, and that's why, because I haven't watched it. When I see that the anime show has over 1,000 episodes, I just see myself that I am unable to spend that much time to get invested into the anime. Instead of that, I could watch all the anime here that are on this list. I could finish them before I would finish One Piece. It is massively popular, but I just cannot see myself getting into it. Next we have Undead Unluck. This anime, when it came out, it was pretty interesting for a lot of people, and then a lot of people just left it like it never existed. I think that Undead Unluck has that something special. You cannot just watch it because of the fight scenes. You want to invest yourself into the characters and kind of understand the story. So it's not D tiers, but it definitely, like, I would say it is above Fire Force. I would say it's above Fire Force. It's really good. A lot of people were talking about it when it was releasing, and then no one. That's basically with every single anime, unless it is something like Jujutsu Kaisen. But it is really interesting. It's not finished. It has an open ending, which if it wouldn't have an open ending, I would put it into the A tier. But I just hate when it takes anime, let's say 24 episodes for season 1, something new is introduced, and you don't even end the story. You end the episode 24 on a cliffhanger. That just makes me angry. And a lot of people like me don't like when the first anime is introduced to you, something completely new, you don't know about it. It takes more than 12 episodes, and you end on a cliffhanger. Do you know how many viewers are angry because of that? That's why it's not in the A tier, but I will put it into B tier. Really interesting, I enjoyed it, and really cool, the UN in front of every superpower or something like that. Really interesting, I enjoyed it. Next we have Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise, so far at the time of recording this video, we have only season 1. Season 2 should come out, but it is really awesome. You have an interesting story, and you have like characters with cool, you could say, fighting, and also the main character Gabimaru, he gets smacked on the head with a huge weapon, it breaks, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, nothing is going on. So you have comedy there, you have insane action, and it is a bit weird, but for some people it's bad. I enjoyed it because it was something different that I didn't expect. So it was really funny. You have villains who are immortal, So really cool anime, well made, enjoyed it more than, I think it is better than Jujutsu Kaisen mainly because of the overhype. That's why I will put it into the A tier. Next we have the newest anime on this list, which is Kaiju No. 8. And I am so glad that for the first time you have a main character that's not a child or a teenager or a very, very young adult. You have finally someone who just isn't that black-haired guy who gets sent into another world. Back to Kaiju No. 8. It's well made, but again, it ends on a kind of cliffhanger. And that just makes me not that interested in it. I don't know if it's B tier or A tier. Yeah, that's what I'll put it. Next we have two anime that I will rank together. We have Tokyo Revengers and Windbreaker. And these anime are very simple. You have teenagers fighting. But the difference is, do you want teenagers fighting and gangs fighting with time travel element or without? And I will be honest, I think that this goes, probably like here, C tier, and this Windbreaker, just because you have additional elements in your anime doesn't mean that it's so incredible. Look at Demon Slayer. The whole plot twist is you have humans and demons. Demons want to kill humans, and humans that are demon slayers, a secret organization, want to kill demons. Very simple. I can just cover that so easily. But if I want to explain to someone what is Tokyo Revengers, it would take me a good 5 minutes so that person understand what it is about. And if I would explain what is Windbreaker about, two main gangs where they want to fight each other. Bam. Very simple. I will put... I don't know. Is Windbreaker better? Yeah, it didn't end on a cliffhanger as Undead Unluck. And Kaiju No. 8 kind of ended on a cliffhanger, but not really. So I'll put it at the top of the B tier. Next we have Blue Exorcist. In this tier list, there must be something that is in the D tier. If there wouldn't be, then why do I have a D tier? So I'll put it straight to the D tier. Main character who is partially a devil or demon or something like that, and he decides that he wants to kill demons. Imagine if Tanjiro would go on the side of demons and he would be the only human and he would kill other humans. That's basically the same thing but opposite for Blue Exorcist. Compared to all the anime that are out here, if I should decide one anime that would disappear forever and never existed, I would pick Blue Exorcist. It would be hard to pick one, but I would pick Blue Exorcist. Next we have Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War. And there is one very important thing that every Bleach fan watching this video needs to hear carefully. I am ranking Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, only this anime, not all the previous ones. And the reason why is I and a lot of people don't know the past of Bleach. We've just watched the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, and as a standalone anime, if that's the first anime people watch that is about Bleach, it's not that impressive. I will put it, probably like here, C tier. And because there were a lot of scenes like flashbacks, and I didn't get them. I just didn't understand because I have never watched the Bleach before. This was my first Bleach experience. And a lot of people, if this is like a standalone anime, it's not that impressive. But it's the same thing as if you watch Infinity War from Marvel. If you watch that as your first Marvel movie and nothing else, you wouldn't find it impressive. There were a lot of, like, not flashbacks, but a lot of nostalgic moments and quotes that those characters did, and you wouldn't find it impressive. I found it impressive because I knew the past, but with Bleach the same. If you understand the past, this is definitely higher than C tier, but as a standalone anime, Bleach 1000-Year Blood War with a C tier. Next we have Ragna Crimson. And Ragna Crimson is an incredible dark fantasy anime. Akame ga Kill, a lot of people have different opinions on it, but Ragna Crimson is surprisingly a better Akame ga Kill, and I really enjoyed Akame ga Kill. You really saw that even the main character, and like you have Ragna, that's this guy, and Crimson is the other person, and she just puts out innocent people to fight for her. She's using everything, every means necessary to kill dragons, even kill millions of humans if that's necessary. So you have this awesome dark fantasy anime and really impressive animation. Not as impressive as Demon Slayer, but so incredible that I'm putting it into the S tier. Really incredible, but people completely forgot talking about it. So this is more of an underrated anime because people don't even talk about it anymore. Really incredible, enjoyed it a lot. Highly recommend if you like dark fantasy. Last we have Chainsaw Man. And Chainsaw Man was for a whole year really like the best anime in the anime community. And it fell down because there won't be a season 2. The problem was mainly that in the beginning, like the director, something with the director was problem. They showed CGI in the first episode, and they just decided that they don't want to make another season. But definitely other seasons would be incredible. For example, I didn't know unless I looked out who was the villain because I had no idea who was the actual villain in Chainsaw Man, and it's Makima. I had no idea that she is the main villain. But still, as a shonen anime, if I should look on this tier list and just look where should I put Chainsaw Man, it has awesome action. It was the best anime of the year, 2021, I believe. But there is the problem with it not having a season 2 and probably will never have season 2. Same thing like No Game No Life that will never get a season 2. But as a standalone anime, if I should compare it to anime that are out here, I will put it probably now D tier, not S tier. It is really impressive, and do you know what? I will put it above Ragna Crimson. Beautiful shonen anime, highly recommend it S tier. And if you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you to watch this video next. Thanks for watching and stay tuned, my friends.